Okay. Okay. Let's do this.
Here's my background. Here we go.
Nice.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. All right. Hey, Vinnk.
Hey, Mr. Orange.
So, I've been thinking a lot about. I don't really believe in fate per se, but I definitely serendipity feels like it's a force in my life. I
What do
don't
you
know
mean?
about you. Well, okay. So a few episodes ago, 161 relocalization.
Okay.
For those who are curious and want to go back and give it a listen, you were perusing your good old games stash and found that you had a bunch of the Myst games, or at least a
Yep.
couple of them, that you had never played Riven before. And then I think we talked about that for Pile of Shame. That sounds
That's
about right.
very possible. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't remember what spurred that exactly, but it led both of us to buy the physical release of Real Mist
Yep.
um, that Limited Run Games was putting out, and and
Yep.
and that finally came despite the pandemic. We had no idea when it was going to
Mm-hmm.
actually come out, and for several days after I got my copy, I did nothing with it.
Yep.
Uh, but then I was like, all right, I should film something. And I didn't expect to get like sucked back in because I hadn't played this game really since it came out in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh,
So
did you play real? Did you play Real Mist or in
yeah,
the
so
in
I,
the
I,
in the
I
back
played,
in the 90s?
no, I
Or
didn't. I
oh,
played
okay.
the original.
Okay.
So I never played Real Mist. No,
Yeah.
I don't think I had a computer that could have run it even. Uh, but this version's it's based on the Unreal Engine, I think.
No, I don't
Something.
think
Oh,
so.
sorry, not Unreal.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of? It's written in Unity. There we go.
I think this version, but I think this version was ported to Unity because Real Mist is actually quite old.
Right,
It came out after Riven, but before Mist 3,
right. I think it came out in 2000.
2000 something like that.
Yeah.
But then this is called Real Mist Masterpiece Edition, which is more a modern port. So yeah,
Okay. So I
either way,
played through the whole thing.
yeah,
And I stopped the video at some point and just kept
okay.
playing basically. And that led me to buy the rest of the games on Good Old Games. And you pointed out to me that there was a sale going on, so I saved.
There was a sale going on. Yes.
I didn't spend. It doesn't like really cost that much to buy the whole series to begin with. But as we're talking right now,
Oh yeah.
there's a sale going on still. It's like 50% off of all of them, and 10% or 15% off additionally if you buy the
Oh
entire
really?
series. Yeah, so you can save even more money. But that's all been going on, and it's crazy because
Yeah.
this kind of led me to want to like do another video about Real Mist. Like the one I'm talking about hasn't come out yet, but it should be out by the time the audio version of this comes out. I think it's gonna
Okay.
be pretty soon. We're in the throes of new videos right now, but it made me want to write a train your game about how to beat Mist in 5 minutes because it
Ooh.
totally flipping works
Yep.
in Real Mist in this new version. Um, and
Maybe
then I
even
found out
faster. Maybe even
even
faster.
faster and smoother
Yep.
and
Yep.
silkier. Then I found out I was on my 3DS for no apparent reason,
Yep.
and I found out that I had bought a version of Myst for my 3DS. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how long ago. That was released in 2012 apparently, and
Yep.
so I tried it on there too, and it works. So like this video is really coming together that I just like decided to throw together on a whim, and
I
I'm
bought Mist on
pretty
my
sure
iPad and I didn't remember doing
on your
so.
iPad. I could probably get it on my phone too if I really thought
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
it's both regular and Masterpiece Edition are available for the iPhone.
Oh my God.
And Riven. And
And
Riven.
Riven.
And Riven,
Okay.
yeah.
So I've also been going through and playing the other games too, of course.
Okay.
But I think that this Myst video is pretty much ready. I'm going to film it today. It's all
Awesome.
done. There's no other news I'm aware of that could possibly have to work its way in. So the serendipity.
Realer Mist.
Real. What do you mean real or missed?
Well, there's the new news, of course.
What's the new news?
Well, the new news is that they're remaking Mist again.
What?
They're remaking Mist again, and there's
Damn,
going to be
where's my script? Wait, they're remaking Myst again.
yes, yes, and yeah, they're upping the engine. They're like good old games kind of leaked it before Cyan was like ready to go. But apparently there's going to be a VR version as well.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Is that the Serendipity you're talking about?
Apparently, because like I literally have the set ready to record after we're done with this podcast right now. So, all right, this video would have been even more goofy than normal if I hadn't learned this. So thank you. Okay, I'll check up on that and adjust accordingly. So this is what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
It's such a good game.
Yes, it is. And you know what? You know what I realized?
Mm.
And this kind of blew my mind. And my mind what it is these days is that I realized that I'd never actually beat Myst back in the day.
Oh.
Because I mean I thought I had, because I think I'd seen it beat. Because I didn't have a good enough computer back in '93 when it came out. But
Okay.
one of my friends did, and I remember, watching it on there, and I owned a version of it for the Atari Jaguar CD.
Wow. Okay.
But I realized I never actually went through the whole thing. I must have gone to a certain part, because when I went, when I entered the game, I knew exactly what I needed to do in the library. I knew what I needed to do in the planetarium, but like I couldn't remember any of the other ones, and I'd never been to the mechanical age.
Oh.
So yeah, which was super creepy. I did not realize Myst had super creepy things in it. But the mechanical age is super creepy.
It is incredibly creepy. Yes.
Like that part where there's very clearly like a chopping block that had been used to execute someone. I'm like, this game is rated E for everyone.
Well, you don't see them get executed, right? So you have to use your imagination,
That is true, but my imagination. And there's that part in I don't remember, maybe it was the mechanical age as well, where you peek out the porthole and there's like that dangling skeleton and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah. That was surprising to my kids.
Yikes.
Because I put on Myst because I was like, oh my goodness, this is a game they can totally watch, because there's nothing frightening in it. There's no enemies. There's nothing,
Yep. You can't die. There are no jump scares.
But
right.
there's some creepy music. There's some, but what a game. And I have still not beat it because I'm playing it with my kids right now. And I want them to help me solve the puzzles. They've got notebooks. They've taken notebooks, and whenever they see like symbols and stuff, they're like jotting them down. Like that's exactly how the game is supposed to be played.
Right.
Instead of how I would have probably played it myself, which would be to walk around for a while and then go to GameFAQs. So and we're having so much fun with it. So I'm not cheating. Although I think, like when we first entered, I couldn't remember what I was supposed to do for rotating the tower. For those who haven't played this game, just stop the podcast right now. Download a version you can probably play it on a toaster these days, for any device of your choice, and play a little bit so you know what we're talking about for this podcast, because we're going to kind of geek out a little bit here. I'm assuming. This game is old. The original, obviously, is
1993 is when it came out.
93. But most people don't know about it till 94, 95, because that's when the PC versions came out. It was originally a Mac only.
Oh.
Because it was made in HyperCard. Remember HyperCard? My school had it. We made like presentations and stuff. It's it's not really a game development environment, but they squeezed the game out of it.
That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
HyperCard, it would be basically the equivalent today is if you said, well, what engine did you make your video game in? Oh, PowerPoint. Because it was basically the same thing. It was like hypertext linked cards, whatever. And that's what they made The Manhole in, and that's what they made Cosmic Osmo in. Their early games, and that's what they made this in too. And yeah. So it wasn't until the game kind of took off on the Mac that they made a version for PC.
Okay.
And that's
that
where the
makes
game
sense.
that's when the game got huge. Because,
Right.
I mean, Mac is Mac. I love Apple products, but, Do you remember the books they had? The books they had?
I might have one around somewhere. I should really find it.
Yeah. Because apparently there's a lot of story you can get. So anyway, for anyone who may not be aware, what is Myst?
Oh, how do you describe Myst? I guess it's kind of like a point and click, but it's like first person and it's 3D.
Okay, for like a photorealistic
Yeah.
and like there's no combat and there's no dying in the game.
Right.
It's
So
just yeah. Oh, go ahead.
um the so that means that there's also like no pixel hunting really. Like there's everything that you need to do is always in front of you.
Yep.
And the way that the game works is that there's just too many combinations to try
Yes.
to like get through things like in like the lifetime of the universe in some cases. So
The
so the right
planetarium room. Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
right
If you tried to brute force your way through that, you'd be there for. I mean, you could probably figure out the clock in the mechanical age just by putting in every possible combination for an hour and a half. But yeah.
right. Yeah, the right way to play Myst is to look for clues, and they are everywhere. There's
Yes.
a lot of reading involved, if you're not into that sort of thing. But it's really about exploring the world and understanding where you are. Um,
The world's
worlds,
yeah.
sorry, there's a
So
much more to it.
you got your Myst Island. Wow,
Yep,
my stuff's glitching out here, but I put it as my background. But you
there it
got your
is.
Myst Island.
There it
There's
is.
my microphone. And you explore that, and within that, you discover all of these different ages, which are found in books. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but like the construction of these ages is going to become very important as well. So, um, and each one is kind of its own little self-contained world that is a puzzle. And it's you know what modern genre is kind of like Myst?
Hmm.
Escape rooms.
It's totally an escape room.
Because if you get to a new age, you can't go back without figuring it out.
Yes, correct. Yep.
Okay.
And if you need to go through it again, you'll
Yep.
have figured out most of it, but you still have to like there's still some rigmarole to like
Yep.
walking through the age again.
But man, I am having so much fun playing this with my kids
Yeah.
just because it is not an easy game.
Mm.
And you'll kick yourself once you actually figure out the puzzles because they were right in front of you the whole time. But you gotta use some fourth dimensional thinking. You know what I mean?
Right.
And and like you can just play for the puzzles, but there's so much lore if you want to
Right.
go into that,
Right.
which is really interesting because there's all these books on the shelves that you can read, and you have to a certain extent to get clues.
Yes.
But a lot of it is just filler text, but it really paints this idea of a world that's going to be developed a lot more in the later games.
Yeah, and before they had those later games, I guess that they released like companion books or
Yep.
comics or something
Yep.
along those lines to help
Novels,
like
actually.
novels,
Novels.
okay, to expand on that lore because
Yeah.
that's how deep and rich it was as they were developing the game.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a game that it was the best-selling PC game for more than 10 years. It wasn't until The Sims came out that a PC game sold better than this.
Sure. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And just it was the game. It was the reason people bought a computer with a CD-ROM drive.
Yeah.
Because at
And
the time it was released, most computers didn't have those.
and allegedly, it almost wasn't able to run on CD-ROMs.
That was a very cool video, yeah. Yeah, because CD-ROMs at the time were a 1x read speed, and to load the pictures to have it play at any, that's why the early versions of Myst have fairly low color count and low resolution images, just so that it would load faster. so you'd actually be able to play it without having to wait for a slideshow. Anyway, Myst.
Yeah.
But you know, often when you play a game, you ask yourself like, "Oh, that was super fun. I want to play more games like Myst."
Oh yeah,
And
Journeyman
there's
Project.
Journeyman Project is a
Yeah.
wonderful series that Journeyman Project actually predates Myst, the first Journeyman Project.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
But what's crazy is Myst 3 was developed by Presto Studios.
Yeah, they were on parallel tracks, right? And
Yep.
the Presto Studios folks had found a way to do a lot of like 360
Yep.
uh, photo stitching. So it wasn't real time 3D still
No.
because a lot of computers couldn't
Yep.
handle that. But the pre-rendered stuff was done in such a way that
Very,
it
very.
felt and so a bit of an admission here. I love
Yep.
these games so much that I wanted to do something like it, with my lack of resources in the late
Yeah.
90s. And like every time I would like design a game that would be like
Mm-hmm.
Myst or like the first Journeyman project, the next sequel would come out with like,
Yep.
pre-rendered full motion video, like moving between spots. It's like, well,
Yep.
I gotta do that now, and then I never finished because I don't have those resources. But yes, they were constantly improving things as the technology would allow.
And then we got to the point where it just stopped. And I think
Yeah,
that's the thing. When you ask people for a game like Myst these days, all you can point to is older titles because it is a dead genre. The what would it be called? The 3D atmospheric explore 'em up, I suppose.
walking
No.
simulators. Okay,
Oh
okay.
Lord.
So would
Oh,
Gone Home
okay.
be the most recent modern example of this?
I guess. Hold on. What
Because you
is
can't
going
you
on?
can't die. It's spooky, but it's
Yeah.
it's it's meant to scare you into thinking that something could happen, but nothing ever does.
Hmm.
But I think that's the
The
exception that proves
Stanley Parable?
the Stanley Parable requires interaction. You can definitely
Oh,
lose in the Stanley
I don't
Parable.
want. I don't want interaction. Um.
That freaking baby, you got to like push the button for like 4 hours, and like halfway through they change the button on you.
Yeah. 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 But. But. Yeah. Gone Home. Yeah. I guess that would be in the same type of genre as Myst.
You've given me a
Um.
lot to think about because I've wanted to review Gone Home for years.
And then of course, I mean, there's the spiritual sequel to Myst, Abduction, which was a Kickstarter that actually got made. Yay! um,
Still waiting
and
for what is it, the Ghost something machine? Whatever it is, it's never
Ghost of
coming up.
yeah, no, I've given up. Ghost Song,
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know. Yeah, that's never coming out. But 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 in general, the genre is pretty much gone,
yeah.
which is strange because it was, as I said, one of the best-selling PC games ever. And it's so funny that like a genre like that goes away. But think about other genres that have just absolutely disappeared. Take the light gun shooter.
Oh, sure.
Now, part of that went away because the technology, the underlying technology of it, the CRT, went away.
Right.
But also just the idea that someone would be willing to pay full price for that type of game just kind of went away. You know?
I know that like the Wii and to some extent the Wii U tried with the Wii
Yes.
remotes, but it never really caught on. Like there was like Link's
No.
crossbow training, and I never
Yep.
picked it up.
They had some good arcade ports. They had like Ghost Squad was really
Right.
cool. The House of the Dead's got ported, stuff like that. But yeah, it was yeah,
It's
just
weird how
a
that persisted in the arcades and didn't really translate to the home market.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe we're like
Um,
overestimating how popular they were in the home market to begin with.
well, I mean, they were never super popular. I mean, I'd say probably they never really. I don't think any game in the light gun genre ever really dethroned Duck Hunt.
But like on the same token, no arcade pun intended.
Yeah.
Would we have played Duck Hunt if the NES hadn't come with a zapper?
I mean, as a thought experiment, I suppose you could turn to Japan, where it wasn't a pack-in title, and it was still, I think well, I mean, Wild Gunman outsold Duck Hunt just because it was the pack-in with the gun.
Right.
But I mean, Duck Hunt still sold quite well, so there was a market for it, at least partially.
Okay.
But no, that's it's but it but Japanese people don't regard Duck Hunt in the same way that Americans do, in that it's our fond memories, So
Right.
because it was most people didn't who had the Famicom didn't have the gun. So
Right.
um what else? I mean, there's a lot of genres that I miss dearly. I am not really into sports games at all, but I loved arcadey sports games
Right.
like NBA Jam, Tecmo Bowl, just the over the top. Because I didn't really like sports, so I didn't care if it was realistic in any sort of way. I want to get 30 touchdowns in a game, you know, or a quarter.
Yeah, I want my my head to be 3 times its normal size, play
Yep.
as Bill Clinton, and when I dunk, there better be fire coming off the hoop.
Well, I mean, obviously. How?
Love
I
those
mean,
games.
but the thing is, I think I mean, the NBA Jam never will exist anymore, something like that, because the licensing is too expensive. And there'll be no arcade football games like Tecmo Bowl anymore because Madden has an exclusivity for the NFL license. So there
Oh
won't
yeah,
be.
I think I saw a hashtag trending to like end that exclusivity.
I might have
Like,
been promoting that as well, um,
mhm.
because I don't really care for Madden so much, but I would like to play a football game. You know, that's because I don't want like realistic simulations. It's like how arcade racers mostly went away,
Oh sure.
but you've still got your realistic racers. You've still got your Gran Turismo and stuff like that, but like you lost like Daytona USA, Cruising USA.
Yeah, yeah. There was that Cruisin' Blast cabinet or whatever we saw like 3 4 years
Was
ago now.
Yeah, you know what? I found mixed things on this. Some comments we've gotten on the thing said that was never actually officially released. Do you think we were in a test arcade?
Oh, yeah.
I
How will we
have
even find that
no
out?
I have no idea. But then
Huh.
I don't know. But maybe I don't know. Maybe it just was made in quite limited quantities. But either
Sure.
way, that was fun. I liked playing that.
Yeah.
You should research that a little bit. But uh, Maker's Raw Thrills. But yeah, that was weird because I don't find any additional information about that. I mean, at the time when I was looking, there might be more now, but I wonder if we were being test marketed.
Sure. Sure. Well, I mean, hopefully they saw our
Curse
video.
you, curse you, moose head, moose jaw,
Who's Jaw?
moose jaw pizza.
Great pizza, fantastic pumpkin beer that they're never going to make again because apparently it like got in the brewmaster's hair and whatever. I talked to her personally about it because I really wanted it a couple years back. She's like, "Nope, I'm not doing it ever again." And I'm just like, "Rats." Fantastic. Anyway, not the point. Um,
That was fun. If
wasn't it?
Hey, if we survive through the next couple of years, I'd really love to meet you in the Dells again,
Yeah,
and
man.
yeah, and I don't know. I mean, let's see, maybe talk to you from across a restaurant, or maybe if things actually. Sean,
What
what's
a way
wrong
to
with the
spend
world?
an airplane ticket. Like I'm just hoping that Americans are allowed into any other country at some point in the near future. That would be really great.
That would be awesome. But considering
Uh,
like considering like mail is already kind of banned, it's gonna be a while for humans. So
yeah.
yeah,
Um, So games, other games. I would have said 2D adventure games, but those saw a resurgence in the last decade. Um,
Yes,
but
which
but
we've
they were
talked about
gone.
at length. Yeah.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah, they were gone.
like to the point that when I made a video about it,
Yep.
for Powet TV, I labeled it as like my top five adventure games of the aughts, and none of them were adventure games because I was convinced the genre was dead, and I was trying
Oh
to
yeah.
make a point that these other genres of games had very uh, adventure game elements to them, just
Yep.
because they wouldn't get made otherwise.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people were so angry at me, like you can't just
Yep.
redefine a genre because you want to, and I'm like, art. So whatever. I'll link that video in the show notes too. I've been meaning to make one for this previous decade
Yep.
about the top five actual adventure games. So we got things on the list like Broken Age that we're gonna look
Yep.
at. I don't know what's gonna make the top five. We got like a bunch of games that we could possibly
Oxenfree.
Oxenfree, Thimbleweed Park.
Yep.
Um, boy, Oxenfree is definitely up there.
Although, is that really an adventure? Yeah, it's a 2D walking simulator.
Oh, woof. You do a lot of walking. It's true.
It's a talking simulator.
That's probably truer.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, like the types of games are a lot of the genres are coming back, but other than the one than abduction by Cyan Worlds, it doesn't seem like Myst in general is coming back. But you know what? VR might do it.
Right? Now I don't imagine that they'll do the Switch VR, but maybe they will.
No. Well, it
Maybe.
depends. It might hit Switch Pro.
I don't.
That's what the rumors
All
are.
right, so the quick sidebar on the next
Okay.
generation of consoles. Since
Yep.
since we did our last podcast, Sony and Microsoft have announced their prices for the PS5 and the Xbox Series XS, respectively.
Yep.
And they're pretty much on par. I don't really
Yep.
want to I don't really want to dwell on that too much, but because that's going on and Nintendo has been quiet this entire year,
Yep.
I'm still pretty convinced we're not going to get a Switch Pro. We're going to get
Um,
the next Switch, the next console. It
like
might be Switch-like,
it's like
but
record breaking hardware sales, so there's no reason for, even if Nintendo has cooked up one, there's no reason to release it yet. And I'll tell you what, I watched the reveal for the PlayStation 5. I followed a lot of the stuff that Microsoft was doing, and I'll tell you what I'm excited about right now. Did you know there's a Game and Watch coming out that has Mario on it? I
I'm
think I
not
might.
going to I think that
Yeah,
PS5 pre-orders are bad. It's
yeah.
not even out in the States yet,
I
and that thing
know.
is sold out in Japan.
I know. I think I might be getting old, Sean.
I
Like,
I want that Game and Watch so bad, you
I know.
guys.
I know. Did you pre-order the Mario 3D collection thingy?
I didn't, and I probably should just to have it. Now I've heard some things about
Yep.
because is the digital version out already, or
Yeah.
just the reviewers have it? So like
Both are
I
out.
heard
Both
some
are out,
things
right?
about how lazy the Mario Sunshine port was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it doesn't have the GameCube's controls, they had to like modify some things. So they
That
like
makes
took out
sense.
some
Yeah.
instructions. They took out like the view in version. So if you're used to playing the game a certain way, you can't on the Switch. I don't know if that really ruins the experience, but it gives me some kind of pause.
Well,
And I
yeah.
have games for the original
Yeah.
consoles anyway, but how likely am I gonna play it 20 years after it came out if I haven't finished it already? Which I haven't.
Did
I haven't finished Mario Galaxy. I haven't
mm,
started Mario Galaxy hardly even, and I definitely didn't finish Mario Sunshine.
did
So
did I mean Mario Sunshine used the analog triggers, right? For
yes,
Flood, right? So
that's
that
correct.
right there, they're going to have to change it how it played in some way just to account for that. I didn't really play much Sunshine. I didn't own it. My roommate in college owned it, but like I played it a little bit, but I never really got into. I loved Galaxy though. Galaxy was my jam. Galaxy is
Man,
really good. Galaxy 2 is really good, and it's baffling that it's not in this collection.
Well, they can't put 4 games for just $60.
I gotta say, Sean, though, the FOMO was strong. Like the
Yeah.
moment they said like after March you can't get it, I'd be like, ha, I'm gonna get it now. Oh, that's what you were trying to make me do. Um,
Yep.
but the thing is, it's probably going to become actually a very, very common game if it's anything like the 25th anniversary collection. Remember that? That was also for a limited time.
I don't actually.
It was just a ROM dump of Super Mario of Mario All Stars is all it was. And they put it in a nice box it was for Wii. They put it in a nice box. It came with a soundtrack and they sold it for like $30.
Okay.
You didn't get that one?
I didn't. The only
I
thing I
got it and
did.
I instantly regretted it. So
Well, I'm glad I dodged that
yeah.
bullet bill.
Ooh.
Yeah. Mm. The only thing I did for the 25th anniversary of Mario was I made a video uh about how it's just a PR campaign for skeevy Italian plumbers. Kind of like how fantasy stories are um just a good PR for crappy landlord nights.
Nope.
Yeah, I should link that one too. There's some language in that one. Just putting that out there for you guys.
Yeah.
It's on
Yeah.
the SeanOrange
Yeah.
channel. It's been there for years. No one's watched it, but
We dodged a bullet bill there.
sure.
Is that going to become a thing now?
I,
Oh dear.
I hope so.
Yes.
20. Well, I mean, we had to have some bright spots in 2020.
Oh man. Oh.
Oh God. So video games, dead genres. Mm.
I would say that the genre that's probably dead for the foreseeable future would be games set in a pandemic.
Oh snap! Right? How many of those like Fallout? That's like their whole
Yeah. There's a
jam.
there's
Or
there's I mean there was one called pandemic, and there's like infection, and there's like
all right,
all of these
zombie
ones with
games
like
too.
yep, well, World War Z, things like that. Like
Oh,
but a lot of those, like, I'm like, maybe not right now. To tell you the truth, I it's this has been a hard year. I don't know if I can even take Dr. Mario at this point. I just like,
whoa. Yeah, yeah. Just losing at Dr. Mario is gonna feel too real.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, boy. Well,
And you know
um,
what? You know what? He is underqualified to be a doctor. I don't I
yeah. Where's his medical degree from?
Well, you know what though? It seems that we it seems that political joke.
Uh,
You know what? I'll just
nice
leave it
one.
right there.
That was good.
I'll
I
just
liked
leave it
that one.
right there. It
Um,
seems that political joke.
but I mean, speaking of like puzzle games though,
Yeah.
like I remember paying like 80 or $90 for Pokemon Puzzle League back in the day,
Oof.
and that felt that was a rough purchase, but it was like I didn't have anything but the N64, so it was like
Yeah.
that and Conker's Bad Fur Day. I think I
Yeah.
got them on the same day, so I
Pokemon
definitely
Puzzle League
haven't.
is a great game though.
Isn't it
Really
though?
good game. But
Isn't it?
like, you know what? I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Yeah, when I bought which I've bought a few puzzle games over the years, and I always saw them as good investments because I get bored of them a lot slower than other.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
there's a lot of replay there. So, but can you imagine paying full price for a puzzle game these days?
I don't pay any money for puzzle games these
Yeah.
days. Like my
Okay.
wife is playing Candy
Yep.
Crush on my
Yep.
phone, so I
Hmm.
can't do things on my phone in the evenings anymore. It's send help, send
Wait.
memes, send them in
Wait.
the mail
Wait.
because I don't have my phone to open them.
Wait.
But
Wait. 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 Does your wife not have a phone?
she has a phone. She just doesn't have like a phone that does more than phone things, and she's just sort of like ideologically against it.
Does she have like an old man phone
No,
with
it's
the
it's it's an
big
it's an
buttons?
Android. It's just that
Oh.
like it's like the lowest spec one you can
Ah,
get.
okay, okay. Oh,
So
it's like
so
It's like my mom's phone, which basically its main function is to be a mirror. Like, because it takes so long to load anything, it's just like, but it's pretty reflective.
Oh my Lord. That's great. No, she doesn't like download any apps, and the
Okay.
phone's too old at this point to like even function with some of them. So she uses my phone. It's like, I could
Yeah.
like give you this phone when
Yeah.
I get my next iPhone or whatever I do
Yeah.
next. She's like, no. So instead, it's beside the point, Vinnk. So she's playing Candy Crush, which
Yeah.
I stopped playing about 8 years ago,
Yeah.
because it was like draining the
Wise.
life from me.
Yep.
Like it's the kind of reason that like Civ 5 almost ended my very early years of my marriage. Like it just
Yeesh.
doesn't happen. So I mean, not literally, but maybe literally. I'm not really sure at this point anymore. But
I think
but
I have Civ 5 in my Steam library.
oh,
Maybe
don't
I
do
should
it.
start.
Don't. First of all, there's Civ 6. Second of all, don't.
It's on the Switch too, Civ 6.
I know that don't. Mm.
Oh, sorry.
So so anyway, uh, so she's playing through this game and she's like on like level 278 or
Yep.
whatever. Like there's
Yep.
no end to this,
Yeah.
right? And we're both convinced, like, in alternate
Yeah.
turns, the game is like letting her through out of pity
Yeah.
sometimes to like keep her playing, but
Of
sometimes
course. Of
stop
course.
her because
That's
you need to
totally
pay for extra
intentional.
turns.
Yeah.
So I've never spent money on this game,
Yeah.
unlike
But a
Pokemon.
lot of people have.
Right. So it never ends. There's like no
Yep.
point but the rush.
Yep.
So I don't play that game anymore.
There was a game that I downloaded. I don't even remember what it was called, which is strange because it was the only thing I did for about 3 weeks. Like it was some basically click 'em up game. You know what I mean? One of those like,
Yeah.
just keep clicking this thing and build up your business or something. And I don't even think it was that good of a game, and I don't think I really enjoyed it, but I was totally hooked on it. It hit some nerve center of my brain, and that's why I can't play Game Dev Story anymore. Although that one's actually a really
Oh,
good game.
it is.
I almost bought it on the Switch, and then I'm like, wait, I have family and commitments.
Right. Yeah, don't do it, man. Life's too short.
To anyone listening, we've recommended Game Dev Story before, and we've also unrecommended it lots of times because it is quite a good game. So, yeah.
Quite good.
Game Dev Story is fantastic, but don't do it if you have. You know what though?
A
This is
life.
the time to do it. This is the
Probably.
time to do it. If you're
Probably.
locked in your house,
Hmm.
it's a good pandemic game. Yeah. Never
Yeah.
mind. I take it back.
Yeah.
Game Dev Story. It's available for everything.
I was gonna make comments about people being locked in their house, but political jokes, so we'll just move on.
Haha. Oh, that's a wry one.
Good Lord.
And it was funny because it made fun of the party that I don't support.
That was the intent of the crafting of the joke, and
Yes.
because of the way we told it, it works for everybody.
Everybody can be happy because
All right. So about these dead genres, I'm like feeling alternately weird
yes.
and
Yeah.
grateful actually
Yeah.
that they're remaking Myst, because the genre
Yeah.
is dead. Why make this game? On the other hand, it's Myst.
Nostalgia.
Like the real Myst copy that we have, it's probably like $20 or something, right? It's usually what they price those
Oh
new
yeah,
games
yeah,
at.
around there. Although I've seen it as low as like 10 on the eShop, but yeah, I think it's usually around 20. And we
I
paid
think it's
what,
like
30?
3 on
We paid
iOS.
like 30 or something. Yeah, it's really cheap on iOS, like $6 or something.
Yeah.
It goes on sale all the time too.
So on the other hand, though, I'm glad, and it made me kind of think about this is probably for another topic entirely.
Yeah.
But it made me think about how there are certain games that I want to be remade to like help to preserve the experience of originally playing it. Because if you
Sure.
look at the original Myst with its low colors and its lack of
Oh,
shaders and whatever else, you're gonna be like, what is this crap? Like, and but
Like,
at the time it was amazing because we only had like
yep.
16 colors
Oh yeah.
back then. Then there was like 256, and that was like, wow.
So,
So I
yeah.
sound like a crazy old man, but it's true. Look it up.
When I downloaded the collection from Good Old Games, because I bought the bundle, because I didn't really, since I had Real Myst, I didn't really need the first Myst again.
Right.
But it came with not, is it Masterpiece Edition? I don't remember.
The Masterpiece
but
Edition is the one that's on Good Old Games. Yeah.
And like it still looks really old. Like
Yes,
it's
it does.
because it's higher resolution than the original Myst, and it's a slightly higher color count, but it still looks pretty grainy and pretty gross. And I was playing it or whatever, and I was just playing it to kind of test it out, and my kids were like looking at it and they're like, why is it not moving? Why is the water still?
Right.
And like you go to what is it, the Stone Ship age in Real Myst, and it's got all the rain falling, and it's quite a nice looking effect. But when you go there before, it's just kind of like it's overcast, so the atmosphere really takes a hit. But for me, I'm like, this was like the epitome of world building,
right,
in '93.
Right.
So but for my kids, Real Myst will be the one that they remember. And you're right, getting a game remade faithfully can allow it to hit new generations. So
and even a Real Myst is at this point, the original version anyway, is 20 years old.
Yep.
Almost to the day. And I think that this Masterpiece Edition is based on like a 2014 remaster of that game. Yeah. But still, that's like 6 years ago. It looks like a game that's pretty old. But like, not like ancient.
Yeah.
But you can tell it was made a while ago.
Oh yeah. It could have easily run on like a probably like PlayStation 2 era hardware, GameCube, something like that. But which makes sense because that's about when it was made. But like it definitely gets the job done, and we are just enjoying it so much as a family. And like we haven't played it for a while because you got to be in kind of the right mood, because the little kids have to not be bugging us, wanting to watch Cocomelon or some garbage like that.
It sounds like garbage.
Oh, it's so garbage. It's that like weird, like definitely not made in the United States, but dubbed into English, kind of uncanny valley CG, like taking beloved children's songs and kind of giving them dumber lyrics. Yuck.
I never did like kid bops.
Oh,
Kids bop. Yeah. Whatever it is.
Tell you what though, Yo Gabba Gabba, that's a good show. You should watch Yo Gabba Gabba. There's some darn good music in Yo Gabba Gabba. Like artists I know. YMCK, my favorite chiptune band, did music for Yo Gabba Gabba.
Ooh.
By the way, YMCK, great band. Chiptunes, neat. Yep.
All right. That does remind me that I would love to record an episode of the Totally Not Other podcast that's a total complete secret.
Oh yeah, we still haven't announced that, have we?
Yes, it's true.
We're the worst.
We have other things going on right now. It's fine. There's also the pandemic.
All right.
We'll get there. All right. Should we any final thoughts? We should probably move on.
Well, this reminds me of Political Joke.
Oh man, I don't know. That one was a little too.
Yeah, that was a bit spicy.
Yeah, I don't think certain. Just don't tell that one at Thanksgiving, okay?
Yeah.
Assuming you can see anybody for Thanksgiving. Oh
no,
Lord.
No. We're done with human interaction.
Woof. All right. Well, on that note.
Okay. Should we answer some? But okay. Wait. No, I gotta pose a question to our listeners and viewers, because this will go up video, right? Too.
Yeah.
So just write in the comments, and I really want to see what is a genre that kind of went away that you miss, or maybe one that went away that you don't miss. We'd really love to hear, because I'm sure there's ones we missed, because there's ones we missed.
Lord. I've been trying not to say that.
Oh man, sorry.
We get pissed next.
Ooh, good parody. But please let us know, and we might follow this one up later, because some of the genres we mentioned, you might, as often happens when we give a podcast, people really do rush in to tell us how wrong we are quite quickly. And that actually leads us to some really nice places sometimes, because I've discovered some games after saying things like, well, they don't have a game like this, and someone's like, au contraire, mon frère, and then I'd say like,
not a bear.
Yeah, that's what I do. Oh,
that guy is totally a bear, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a guy in our Discord who claims to not be a bear, but I think that bear does protest too much. You know what his avatar is? A bear. I don't know if he's not a bear. Yeah, I think, you know what? I just get bear vibes. Anyway, let's answer some questions.
Did we get any?
We got a bunch. They keep beeping.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Well, I did.
I know, right?
Ask everybody.
Answer some. Oh, there's more coming in right now, including one from Not a Bear.
All right.
He's probably going to deny his beariness.
Oh wow! Yeah, they are coming in fast.
Yep.
Peter B is asking if he missed the video on the NES satellite. He has two questions. That's not fair. I'll answer the first one. No, you didn't miss it. I was going to make it for, I think it was actually last year. But then I was going to make it for this year for sure, and then the pandemic hit. So the person I was going to make it with for like a cameo scene, I didn't do. So maybe I'll like get it done anyway, and then just like either rework it without that person or wait. But no, you didn't miss it. It just isn't done yet. We've pivoted. We'll talk more about that at the end of the show. But we're doing something else this fall with what we can do. But no, I think my promise of 2021 made in an earlier podcast still stands. So
okay, I think that's a good answer. How big is Vinck's closet of shame?
Closet sized.
I mean, it's
like closet sized.
It is. My house has a walk-in closet and my game room, and the walk-in closet is significantly bigger. So it's as narrow, so I don't even have to extend my arms fully to hit both sides of it. And the other way is about a little over 2 meters long. So it's quite small, but the ceilings are incredibly high, and I designed it with the shelving that's quite deep. So despite that it's very small, it can fit several thousand games inside of it. So you look at where Sean is broadcasting from, and he's got this like massive game arena.
Yeah.
But I probably have more games than Sean.
Yes, that's a fact.
Yeah, which doesn't seem fair when I think about it.
It's not, but you live in Japan where there's like no space for anybody.
That's true. That's true. All right. Okay, what's the next one?
Sentient 6 asks, why does Sony lie so much even when they're winning? Insert political joke here. What are they lying about exactly? I know that well, I mean their PS5 pre-order thing has been a fiasco. Have they been like lying about why it's not been going well?
I think one of the things that they're talking about is they keep talking about like all of these exclusive titles, but then it turns out they're not exclusive. They're just timed exclusive or console exclusive. That means they're going to be on PC at the same time. Also, they keep talking about like using the power of the PlayStation, of like experiences only possible on the PlayStation 5, and then you find out they're also going to be on the PlayStation 4. So like there's a really mixed messaging there.
Well, I thought that they were going to
Yeah.
work on some backwards compatibility beyond the PS4, and that ends up
Nope.
today being confirmed not to be true.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's the one that got me today. So I don't know why Sony is doing this.
Sean,
Sony,
I
mm,
mean, who could possibly emulate the PlayStation 1? You know, just because Sony has all the schematics of the original thing, and that they were able to emulate it on PSP doesn't mean anything. It's obviously too hard.
it's just
Just
too
too
darn hard.
hard.
Just like how
And
Nintendo can't properly upscale Mario 64. Oh, I'm sure we're going to get to that. In fact, I'm positive we're going to get to that.
all right. So, but Sony lies so much when they're winning because when they're losing,
Invent
they
Blu-ray.
yeah, political joke. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Sonic OSG asks, what are your guys' thoughts on how Super Mario 3D All-Stars uses off-the-shelf texture pack for Sunshine and 64, while Galaxy is a full-on port? Um,
What does he mean off-the-shelf ROMs? Like they don't use their own code?
I mean, hold on, hold on. I mean, they're not off-the-shelf ROMs. I mean, they're their own rips of their original IP. You know, they're not. It's not like they went on like cool ROMs and downloaded them. You know, it's
Right.
but it's definitely emulation for the for Mario 64, and because it's just a it's a cheap cash in low budget release. That's just
Yeah.
the result. Because if they were remaking Mario 64 from the ground up, it would be its own $60 game.
Right. That is a true fact. I was just thinking
Yeah,
about Ocarina of Time for 3DS
yeah,
or
yeah,
or Majora's Mask. Like those are new games,
yeah,
and that takes time. It takes money, and you're going to pay more for it.
yeah,
So I mean, I think everyone wants a remastered Mario
yeah.
64, and we didn't get it.
I mean, if you watch the Game Explained video for Sunshine, though, it does look quite a bit better than the GameCube original. It's not just an upres. They've done more for it than just emulate it. But yeah,
Okay.
Mario 64, yeah, it's mainly just a higher resolution version of the original game. But you know what? For the purpose of this collection, I think that's kind of almost what people want. Do you know what I mean? Like this is mainly a nostalgia package. So
Right. Yeah.
if it was a full-on remake, that would appeal to a lot of people, definitely. But the purpose of this thing is just like when they had the well, I mean, it's just like the Game and Watch thing that they're doing, or the Famicom Mini or the Super Famicom Mini. It's not meant to be a new experience. It's supposed to be a nostalgic experience for older gamers, or introducing a forgotten game to newer gamers. And I think in that way, it's doing it fine. I think the collection is. I feel they could have done more with it. I do. I wish they would have included like yeah, Galaxy 2 for one would have been really nice, and
Right.
it would have been nice if they had. I would love it. You know what? I'll tell you what. I love it when things have documentaries in them. I know
Yeah.
that
For
sounds
sure.
crazy, but like the best part of the Night Trap remake was watching the videos about the making of Night Trap. I
Yeah.
quite enjoyed all the special
Yeah.
features. But I mean, for what it is, it's $60. It's $20 a game. Galaxy is a classic and deserves to be played by everyone. And I think it's okay. I would have preferred it if it came out at 40. I think that would have
Yeah.
been the sweet spot. But this thing's gonna sell like gangbusters, and I don't know. Okay, read the next
Yeah,
one.
I could probably go on and on about this, but I just wanted to like touch on the counterpoint
Yeah.
that like unlike where I mentioned like maintaining the experience of Myst almost forces you to upgrade things about it.
Yep.
Uh, Mario 64 being presented with its blemishes
Yep.
as a nostalgia title, I think is a pretty compelling argument to me
Oh
because
yeah.
there's not a lot wrong with it. I mean, it looks
No.
dated, but it
Yeah.
doesn't to me look dated in a bad way.
it still
and that's very
plays.
subjective.
It still plays really, really well.
Yeah, and
You
it
know.
never played badly in the first place, which is not something you can exactly say of the original version of Myst.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so I don't know. It's definitely a lower effort, but like I don't really expect a full-on remake in a collection for $60, you know. And and to tell you the truth, I mean, the reality of the situation is a lot of it is probably that they needed to get a title out and they've been teleworking, which they're not used to in Japan. Woof. They
yeah,
really aren't, and they probably their whole pipeline is probably slowed down, and they needed to get a title out, you know. So I don't know. Okay, let's move on to the next question.
sure. Trey asks, who would win in a fight, Vinnk or Roomba with a knife taped to it?
Oh, the Roomba, definitely.
Yeah, that's what Peter
He
said. So,
wants it more. He wants it more.
uh, I have an idea for a game, you guys. Hey, is
Ooh,
illustrations out there? Maybe he could whip one up real fast.
illustrations in this game. This you know what? Illustrations, if you're listening, I mean I know if you're thinking of making this game like a virtual on where you fight from Vink's perspective against the Roomba with a knife taped to it. But really, I think you should try to make this more of in the genre of Myst, where it's an
Ah,
exploration game where you try to figure out the motivations between the Roomba with the knife taped to it.
that's
Um,
that's great.
get to work on that.
All right, I'm going to skip down
No,
a bit, go down to
no one will
Kanach's.
play that. No one will play that. Okay,
No,
go ahead.
Kanach's ask. It's not really a. There's a lot of four um, runway here. When people talk about the video game crash of '83, they only talk about the video games being affected, when in reality, it
Yep.
affected entertainment in general. One famous example being Nickelodeon being sold off due to huge losses from Warren Communications, who owned Atari. Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
And having the staff replaced, turn it more into the channel we know today. Why do they think people leave out most important facts like this when discussing on the crash and how it affected things?
Because it's a better story.
Yeah,
Like if you talk about
yeah.
the underlying blah blah blah, it's not nearly as interesting. A simple story sells better, and it people can understand it more. And we do this all the time with everything because the truth is muddy.
Yeah.
It's easier to just say simple things like, I mean, the video game crash, yeah, was an entertainment crash in general, but like, when it comes, oh gosh, that's so much a topic by itself.
It, it, it it really
I'm
is.
very worried that I'm going to go down a rabbit hole here, but I I've been thinking the same thing, like, because now I'm a dad, so I have to explain things to my kids, and it's like,
Right.
which explanation do I give them? Like, okay, hey dad, what's Thanksgiving? Oh, what do I do now? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, how much are we gonna get into this? Maybe
And
we'll
and
start.
um
Yeah,
and my kids have those like books that they can buy from the elementary school, right? And
yeah,
and, and one of them is like the story of Ona Judge, who, if you
yeah,
don't know who this is, she is an escaped slave of George Washington's. And it's
yeah,
meant for it's the younger reader
yeah,
edition of the book, but I think like maybe thinking like sixth grade, because like how do you
sure.
explain these concepts of like U.S. presidents owning slaves, slaves escaping and wanting to be free, and how that's an okay thing, how it should be, but then said ex-president pursues slave until the end of his life. Like
Yep,
that's not something that a 8-year-old is going to be able to really comprehend.
I know, I know, and so I think when you talk about the video game crash in a lot of ways, um, most of the people who talk about video game crashes are books written about video games or movies or documentaries about video games. And when there's so much else to it, it you can't there's so many threads that if you keep unraveling them, you can't tell a story by the end.
Right.
So I think
Yeah,
it
I
would
have
be
to think
good
of
if
where the focus
yeah,
is, right? Because it's
yeah,
usually told in the way that Nintendo's Rise was kind of inevitable after that happened.
yeah,
That's not at all what happened. In
yeah,
fact, we have a video about that very topic that we've
Ooh.
scripted and should absolutely make. Um,
No.
yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do it.
All right, fine.
It's Atari getting knocked off. I didn't
Yep.
realize that
Yep.
had anything
Yep.
to
Yep.
do
Yep.
with Nickelodeon. No clue.
Yep.
That was news to me.
Yep.
But that definitely altered Nintendo's trajectory as well.
Yep.
And the entire industry, like the learning that the CES show was it 83, I think.
Yep.
How everyone was like going PC heavy with these more expensive machines that
Yep.
were PCs first, but then like gaming things second, like
Yep.
really shows where people thought the industry was going to go and how wrong that ended up being. But
Oh yeah. And
you
again,
know,
they could be. You know what? We should start making YouTube videos about like kind of gaming history. I think people would find those very interesting.
yeah, someone should
I
make a
mean,
video sometime.
yeah. I mean, we should try something different, Sean. I mean,
Yeah,
we've tried not making videos for the last 8 years, so I think we should try making videos.
okay.
Let's just do it. Let's just do
Let's
it.
do it. Well, we'll talk about that at the end of the show because we're making some videos right now,
Okay. Yeah, it's
although
true.
with some caveats.
Caveat.
Illustration asks what he should do with swollen lithium batteries. His PSP battery is swole as heck. Hopefully it doesn't explode. Stop using it. Stop. Take it out and stop. It is dead. Don't you die too. We need you to make this Roomba game.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a Myst clone. It could
Right.
also it could be a light gun shooter. I'm okay with it being a light gun shooter, or an arcade sports game.
I think Best Buy and places like that will take things like
Yes.
that. I don't know what you have available in the UK. I was gonna make a Brexit joke, but I'm not
Ooh.
going to now. About where to put the batteries. Never mind. Political joke.
Political joke, or get adjust the lighting in your room, get some pictures of it, and just make a website dedicated to it about your thick PSP.
Satoshi Matrix wants to know if it's worth buying the digital PS5 version because the one with the disc is only $100 more. It's actually $200 more.
Yeah?
Right?
No.
No. Which one's less expensive?
The one without the disc drive.
Microsoft's.
You're thinking of the Xbox. Yeah, that one's cheap. That one's like $300 without the disc drive.
I thought Microsoft's was $400. I'm so confused right now.
Wait,
Microsoft undercut PlayStation.
Yes, that's for the digital only version.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, it's only $100 more. Someone on Twitter made the great point that these discs, when they have discs, are going to be cheap as dirt, where digitals can get discounted, but there's no requirement for them to even ever do that. And someday those stores will go away. So even if your disc is like an unlock key, it's just better in general to go with the disc version because you'll save more money in the long run.
I mean,
boom.
Being able to buy used games is I think something that the publishers would very much like to go away, but gives us more rights to the media we purchase. And I think it'll be a sad day when we don't have that option at all. Plus, I mean, now that games are going to be the game price. This is another topic, but now that the game price is going to be raised as a baseline to $70.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
I missed this. I'm okay with that because it's way past time. It's been like this for most of the last 20 years.
But okay, I'm fine with game prices going up to adjust to inflation. That's absolutely fine. But the thing is, they've already found a way to compensate that through just terrible microtransactions.
This sure is a whole other topic. Yeah,
stuff like that, and that's a different topic. But if they would be a little less invasive with the DLC and the microtransactions, I'm fine with paying more for a game. But if basically the base game is just a very pretty storefront for the other things, I think $70 is way too much to pay.
Yeah.
Which again, makes it great that there's right now at least still the option to buy used, because you can get it used, and then if you like the game and you want to invest in the DLC, the publisher can still get money even though it's a used game, and you don't have to pay so much up front. But yeah, that's wow. These are, you know what? We should just write all these down. These are great topics.
These are great topics.
These are wonderful topics.
Yeah, I think that's it for our questions then.
Yeah, I mean, sorry we didn't get to everyone's question we didn't get to everyone's question, but there'll be time later. Feel free, if your question wasn't asked, to go on our Discord at any time and leave questions, and we'll maybe get to them. Or send us a text. Or what kind of messaging software does the Zune have?
Lord. All right. Do we dare do future retro pile of shame, or do we call it a day?
Oh man, I mean, it is 2 a.m. here, and I got work in the morning, so probably no. But and we kind of covered it anyway. I
would love to talk about Riven sometime, because I did burn through that as well. And I did look up guides a little bit on just some places where I got stuck. There are bad guides out there. I think that's like a whole rant topic for another time. But like, I just wanted to know a specific thing, a very specific hint. And like every guide I found was like how to get through the game in the fewest amount of steps possible, with like no consideration for how you're supposed to solve the puzzle. So I could never find my answer, and I learned things I didn't want to learn. So maybe I'll make my own strategy guide with blackjack and hookers.
But
Riven, incredible.
But that's one thing I really like about the Myst Masterpiece Edition is you can get vague hints. You can go into their hint thing, and it's like it'll give you something super vague just to try, and then you can be like, that doesn't help me, I need a bigger hint, and it'll escalate until you finally, it just basically just throws it in your face like, you have to do this, but like I really like that, because if you get totally stuck, you can do it without having to fully cheat.
I really like that.
Yep.
Just for a little.
Go ahead.
Just for a little preview, we have our pile of shame topic list. Includes incredibly disappointing sequels, slave labor in games, and what if scenarios, such as if the Atari crash hadn't happened.
Yep.
But we will get to those.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, let's wrap this one up. I want to make sure that everyone knows that we are releasing videos right now. The video version of this is probably going to go up today. So it's still time to see our first episode of Future Retro, spawned from this very podcast, and made into video form for all of you to enjoy. There are a few videos planned. I won't say which ones, because a few of them are still going to be rearranged, and I think I'm writing one now to replace one that I'd rather not do. So there's some flux here, but there are some pretty firm plans. Plus new episodes of like stuff Vinnk sent me, Train Your Game, Pile of Shame. If you've been watching the streamed version of those, we're going to have less streamy versions of those, because we're better taped.
And as usual, as soon as new videos start coming out, I start getting that itchy, antsy feeling, and there'll be a couple ones that we don't have planned at all right now that I'm just going to put together.
Yes.
Because that's how this always works out.
We'll slot them in there. I'm excited for it, especially when I realize I can't give up this pace forever, because I have all these awesome plans. There's going to be a vlog companion piece to the Future Retro video, which crosses over with our discussions of Myst. So those Myst videos we talked about, they will be up as part of this. So keep looking this fall. And enjoy our promos. Until then, I'm super excited. Please go back and watch our Pile of Shame live videos. We just did Battle of Olympus. I can never remember which one it is. Battle of Olympus. That one ended. I was fighting the boss. I couldn't quite get it. We ended the stream, and then it's like, what the heck, I'll do it one more time, and then I got it in one. So the filmed version of that will be much better than the live version. But.
And someday we're going to figure out how to get us both live again.
Oh yes, for the podcast,
at some point, because we'd love to put these out live, and I'd love to play through a game with you, Sean. Something neither of us have played. That would be really fun.
I owe you a box of things that will help with that.
Yes.
I still have to get. I haven't been to the post office in 6 months, you guys. So I'm working on it. We're gonna do this. It's gonna happen soon. Maybe after I'm 40.
Get it. Yeah, I mean, get there soon. Well, there still is one. Post office.
Wow. So on that note, thanks for watching and listening.
Political joke.
Political joke. Right. So I guess until next time, then the dojo is
political.
Always.
No. Yeah. Oh, I have a podcast. Not a podcast. I have a thing. I have a live stream. It comes up every now and then.
Yeah, watch it. Go subscribe to Vinnk now. Because I know that you guys aren't subscribed to him because Famicom Dojo has more than he does. So let's just even that out. Just even it up. Just subscribe to Vinnk too.
Vinnk now sounds like a video on demand service. Subscribe to Vinnk now.
Start our own.
Vinnk now and Sean Plus.
No one wants to see more Sean.
Famicom Dojo.
Thank you for watching the Famicom Dojo video game podcast. To watch or hear more, just click on the link on your screen or in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to the Famicom Dojo YouTube channel and click on the bell so you don't miss an update.